The name of this video is How to Deal with a Wicked Woman. How to deal with a wicked woman. When you look at today's times, they let women get away with anything. Women can pretty much do what they want without repercussions, without any type of punishment whatsoever, right? They let the feminism spread to us, basically taking over the whole world. And if you're a woman, you're almost invisible in these days and times. They don't deal with women as they should, or put women in their place, or tell women that they're even wrong. They don't even do that. But I want to read a story out the Bible that teaches us exactly how to deal with a disobedient, wicked woman. All right? It's in the book of Esther, the first chapter. Now what's going on here, this is the Medo-Persian Empire. This is the second empire after the Babylonian Empire. And during this time, King Ahasuerus is having a feast to his people and whatnot, and he's basically having a celebration. But within the celebration, something happens, a situation comes up that shows you exactly how to deal with a wicked woman. It's the opposite of how we deal with women in the West. All right, let's read this and see what it says. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, this is Ahasuerus, which reigned in India, even unto Ethiopia, over 127 provinces, that in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan, the palace, in the third year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes and his servants, the power of Persia and Media, the nobles and princes of the provinces, being before him. When he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. And when these days were expired, the king made a feast unto all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both unto great and small, 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white, green, and blue hazings fastened with cords of fine linen and purple to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds was of gold and silver upon a pavement of red and blue and white and black marble. All right, here come the good part right here. And they gave them drink in vessels of gold, the vessels being diverse from one another, and royal wine in abundance according to the state of the king. And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel, for so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also, Vashti, the queen, made feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, and Abatha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But Queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. Okay, so she having a feast with the women doing her own thing, and he asked to see her so she can show her off to the people, and she refused to come. All right, femininist in its most epic form right here. But check out how he deals with this. Let's keep reading. Then the king said to the wise men which knew the times, for so was the king mannered toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Edmutha, Tarshish, Meres, Mesina, and Mebucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto Queen Vashti according to the law, because she hath not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains? And Mehuman answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to the princes, and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. All right, check that out. He said, not only did she did wrong to you, the king, she did wrong to everybody. See, he knew how dire this matter was and how this was going to spread, how serious this was. All right, let's keep reading. For this deed of the queen shall come aboard unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. When it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Okay, let's go back to the top of that. Said, for this deed of the queen shall come aboard unto all women. So they knew that this feminism that this queen was trying to display was going to spread. You know, the complete opposite of the world we live in today. They let the wickedness of women spread. They let them get away with anything. But these men right here knew how bad this could get and knew they had to nip this shit in the bud. They knew they had to stop this right then and there. Right? All right, let's keep reading. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king princes which have heard of the deed of the queen, therefore shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. That's exactly what we have in the world today. Contempt and wrath between man and woman. Complete contempt and wrath. They let them get away with anything and do anything. And we see the fruits of that labor when we go outside every day. You can't tell these women nothing, man. You know? They don't do anything you say. They're wicked as hell. But we're about to read what's going to happen, all right? If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti came no more before King Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate to another that is better than she. Did you see that? He said, let the king give her royal estate to another that is better than she. He's getting rid of her. He's putting her away. See, in the day's time, they tell you that you got to stay with a wicked woman no matter what she do to you. Cheat on you, beat on you, whatever, cuss you out, call the cops on you every 5 minutes. You got to stay and put up with it. But that's not according to the Bible. And even in the laws, Moses said, made a divorce. A letter of divorce. And here we see that the king is about to get rid of this wicked woman. He don't care how good she look, how fair she look. He about to get rid of her ass, right? Let's keep reading. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both great and small. I'm going to read that again. All the wives shall give to their husbands honor. Okay? That's how it's supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to do when a situation like that rises up. But not here in the West, though. They don't even give men no honor, no respect whatsoever. So you got chaos, contempt, and wrath, like I said earlier. That's what you got today. And the same pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, and to every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. Okay? It was so important they put it in the language of every people. That's how important they knew this matter was. It says that every man should bear rule in his own house. Now, is that happening today? In today's times? Is every man bearing rule in his own house in the Western world? Well, you already know the answer to that. No, it's not happening. It's the complete opposite of that. All right? So when you look at that, they knew how urgent the matter was. That they had to stop this spread of feminism right then and there. They put her ass away and got another queen. If you keep reading, that queen, of course, was Esther. Right? So it said you put her away and get one that's better than her. That's how you handle the matter. But not in today's time, though. They just deal with whatever, man. We got a bunch of simps and mangianas running things and telling you got to put up with wickedness from women when the Bible says otherwise. Now, this is a heathen king. This is not even a Hebrew Israelite that's doing this and saying this. Even he knows this. So why are men doing this today? Well, you know why. You know, we live in a world full of this ridiculous, man. Feminism is at all-time highs, getting worse and worse, man. But that's how you deal with a disobedient, wicked woman. You put her ass away. Forget what they talking about, man. You ain't got time to be putting up that stuff here in the last days, in the days we're approaching and living in. All right? So that's what y'all think about for a minute, man. That's how to deal with a wicked woman, man. I'll see y'all next time.